What's going on YouTube? YAMAHA, welcome to the channel. And in today's episode, we're gonna be changing out the tires on my 2021 MT09. Guys, as you remember, I did a video a few weeks back, or maybe even a few months ago, about which tires I should go with. And I was really on the fence between the Road 6s and actually the Battle Axe S22s, because even though these tires didn't last that long, I had such an amazing time with them because they have so much grip and they are really good in all weather. But I ended up going with the Road 6, and I'm gonna be removing these wheels, taking it down to my local cycle gear, and then reinstalling it. So if you guys want to check it out, stick around, stay tuned, and enjoy.
If any of this content interests you, do me a huge favor. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you want, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to be notified of all new uploads.
Alright guys, before you put the bike on the stand, get your 32mm socket and go ahead and break this bolt free. Guys, the reason why I put this 2x4 here is once I remove this screw, I don't want the tire to drop. I've done that before and the actual brake caliper scratched the rim. I just put this 2x4 here to hold it up, and once I remove this screw, it should pretty much stay here, and then I can kind of just carefully move it around, remove the caliper, and remove the wheel. Guys, you're gonna have to break these lock bolts here for the actual slack of the chain. That way the tire can kind of roll forward and you can remove the chain on the opposite side. So go ahead and get your 12mm and go ahead and start loosening these up. Alright guys, here's where you gotta be careful, because as you can see, that caliper is really close to the rim. So be sure to do this really slow as you back this tire out, and go ahead and try. This caliper is locked in with the little bracket that's here. You can either try to keep it in place and wiggle the tire out, or you can try to remove this bracket and move the caliper over. If you do that, I would recommend trying to put like a towel here so you can kind of lay it over, or just do a combination of the two and get this tire out, and I'll show you guys how I do mine. Alright guys, that was pretty simple, and as you can see, I'm going to show you guys real quick. When you go to put this back on, you see that groove right there? It kind of slides into this groove in the swing arm that's right here. So you have to kind of line it up, and it'll just kind of sit, and that's really all that holds it. Besides, once you put that big bolt through, it'll lock through this hole again. But all you have to do is slide this out a little bit, and it comes off. Alright guys, as we go get this done, I put this axle back in place just to keep the caliper from falling, pulling these hydraulic lines down, or scratching the exhaust. So this is definitely a safe way to leave it until you come back. Alright guys, if you have axle sliders, you will need to remove these, but first I want to get a 6mm Allen key and go ahead and loosen up this pinch bolt. By loosening this pinch bolt, it's going to allow you to remove this axle once we get to the other side. Alright guys, once you release this pinch bolt a little bit, go ahead and get a 19mm hex key. Yes, it is a 19mm hex key, and go ahead and loosen this up real quick while it's on the floor. Now that I have these loose, before I lift up the front end with the stand, I'm going to go ahead and remove the calipers. Alright guys, you're going to need a 12mm socket to remove these calipers. There's a bolt here and a bolt here on both sides. Guys, once you have those bolts removed, be very careful when you're removing this caliper not to hit your rim. I actually did that on the R1 one time and I scratched it and I was really disappointed. So lesson learned, be very gentle and just move it to the side. Guys, to protect this from scratching anything, what I use is just some old helmet bags, and I just kind of wrap it around a few times, tighten it up, and just keep it there for protection. So that way, if it does hit something, it won't scratch it. Guys, once you have this loose, be very careful. Go ahead and kind of lift up on the wheel a little bit with your hand and slide out the axle and carefully place it down. All right, guys, and that's pretty much it. Once you got all this removed, your bike should look like this on some stands. Definitely tell the kids and family to stay away from it so don't tip over. And now we take both wheels to our local cycle gear, and we're gonna go ahead and change out the tires. Alright guys, the new Road 6s are installed by Michelin. Super easy job. The only thing that threw me off was that this is a 19mm in the front versus the previous years were 14mm, I believe. And I had to go to Harbor Freight and actually buy that. I actually had to buy it in a kit. I have everything up to a 17. 18, 19, and 20 don't have. So the kit was $40 to get the 19mm hex key. I just did it because I was there, didn't want to waste time. You could probably find it on eBay or Amazon pretty cheap. So you'll need a 19mm hex Allen key to remove that front tire. Little setback because I had to go get it. But with that being said, guys, super simple the rest of the way. I had all the tools, and remember, this is a 32mm socket, and just make sure that your chain is adjusted the way it's supposed to be. Make sure everything's nice and tight and secure. And guys, trick with the caliper, in order to kind of align it while you're rolling it back in, it's better just to get a flathead screwdriver, stick it in between the brake pads and kind of pull it out. It will open up the caliper and the pads. That way, when you're trying to slide it all back in, it's not so tight and limited in space. I kind of forgot, then I remembered I didn't do it, and once I did it, boom, super simple to slide it back in. And hope you guys saw that in the video. But nevertheless, guys, super simple process. You could do it yourself, and especially if you have a cycle gear down the road, you take your wheels off, go ahead and get them to install it, and bam, you're ready to roll and ride on new rubber. So thanks for checking out the channel, guys. Remember, be blessed, ride safe, take it easy on them filthy streets, and remember, you gotta work on Monday. Peace.